every time I get paid, whether it's from presets, a client, or my part-time job, I follow the exact same routine. And it's honestly changed the way that I look at money. Most people get paid and then 2 days later, their account is back at zero. But then I realized if I just made a few small changes, I could be building something way bigger than spending just cash. I'm still a teen, I'm not a finance bro, but what I'm doing is simple and it's helping me grow my savings, business, and most importantly, still enjoy my money. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how I spend my weekly paychecks. And I'll show you how this exact routine can work for you, whether you're making $40 a week or $400. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first question that some of you guys may have is, where is all this money even coming from? Right now, I get paid in 4 main places with a few extra side income things that I'm still building up. Number 1 being my digital products, which make me the most, selling presets and LUTs. Videography clients, mainly football, but sometimes basketball in the winter time. A few photography gigs here and there, and my part-time job at Lifetime Fitness. And don't get me wrong, some weeks I make more than others. Some weeks it's slow, but no matter what I make, I continue to follow the same rules. In my eyes, the money that we make should be able to work for us and not just sit around waiting to be spent. It's important to tell your money where to go and split it by percentages on what's most important to fit your lifestyle. To start this video off, I wanted to start with kind of a more fun concept, which is putting down 5 to 10% to risks. This is personally my favorite part, and it's what I like to call risk/business money. And no, it's not about gambling, it's about opportunities. What I mean by this is, let's say you make $200 to $400 a week. That's pretty much on the higher end. Even if you make less, that's okay too. Take 5 to 10% of that and put it towards something you're interested in, whether it's starting a business or taking risks in the stock market. For me, I'm not super into stocks and I kind of find that a little too risky. Although the index funds are really good nowadays, I still don't really like to bother with that, but it's definitely something I'll get into in the future. What I like to do is I like to put about 5 to 10% of my paycheck into something I like. So for me, I wanted to improve my preset business, so I went and found a graphic designer to help me build out logos and identities for my brand. Another week, I used some of my saved up money with that 5 to 10% that I saved up over a couple of weeks to purchase a website subscription so that I could host my own website and have all my presets being sold on there. Or you can even pay somebody way smarter than you and something that you may not know a whole lot about to help you fix your business or help it grow. This is the kind of stuff that doesn't really give you a return today, but 6 months down the road, you might see big returns and a lot of help. Think, if you store about 5 to 10% of every paycheck, it's obviously not gonna be a lot, but you could use that leftover money and later invest in your business or fund something new that you're really interested in. If you're a teen making money now, obviously you have so many risks you're allowed to take. You're young, so you have so many opportunities and ways that you could spend this money. It could be a course, a tool, a designer, so much. Or you could even invest in gear for your business. For me, with my 5 to 10% that I saved up over time, I was able to get some camera equipment and this tripod that I'm actually filming this video on right now. This percentage of your paycheck is going towards future you. Even if you don't have an idea right now or you don't want to take risks, if you could put 5 to 10% away just to have for 2 years down the road, that's gonna pay dividends. And again, I'm not telling you to rush into some business and just blow your 5 to 10% of your paycheck every single week. Make sure to save this money up and only invest when you have a clear plan or just want to take a small risk here and there. Otherwise, when you have that idea that you really think is important, you could use all that money to fund its potential. This is one of my favorite things that I learned, and it's really helped me speed up the process of growing a business and not being scared to invest my money. And this leads me on to section number 2 of this video, which is really all about saving it like you mean it. With every paycheck that you make, like I said earlier, it could be from $50 to $400 a week or even more than that. I highly recommend, and so many other financial people do, is putting about 20% to 40% in a high yield savings account or any kind of savings that you have. This ensures that your money doesn't just sit in a bank in a checking account waiting to be spent, but instead it kind of builds a barrier to entry for you and your spending habits, but also it compounds and gains interest over years. Some people think that saving money is boring, but in my opinion, it's addicting. Imagine seeing your money compound over the years. That is really inspiring. The reason I say 20 to 40% is because it varies on the individual. If you're a teenager like me, we probably have a lot more money that we could put aside because we're being supported, and if you don't, you might not have as much, so you might have to go to the 20%. When you're younger, your money makes a lot more for you than when you're older. It's pretty hard to explain. I might have to link another YouTube video to it, but pretty much when you're young, you have a lot more time for that money to compound as opposed to when you're 60 or older, and that money kind of takes a lot longer to grow. It's kind of like that quote when people say, oh, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. Yeah, you want to plant that tree now, so that way when you're 60, that money will be compounding and saving you so much. And for me, it's not always a large amount. It could be $30 one week that I just set aside into a savings account and watch it grow. I can guarantee you there's going to be this version of you and me in 5 years that pretty much thanks ourselves for not blowing all our money on snacks and stuff on TikTok Shop. You can use a savings account for two things. One, for long-term things like buying a car, putting down money on a mortgage, or you could use this money to invest in like smaller things like business gear like this. It's always important to also have an emergency fund where you can cover yourself in case of an emergency, and oftentimes they recommend about 6 months of leverage for you in case you get in any kind of emergency within your life. The next thing I wanted to talk about in this video, and it's something that actually one of my friends really was impacted by, is making sure that you pay off all of your high interest debts. And I know it sounds intense, but even teens deal with it. Let's say you open a credit card to hopefully build credit history over the years, but you're ignoring that $147 balance that you need to pay off. Or maybe you owe your parents back because they bought you a camera like this and you need to pay them back over time. You could have also gotten caught in one of those traps where they say buy now, pay later. And there's just so many deals like that that entice us teens into paying money for things with a credit card, and then all of a sudden all our money we have to pay back. So before you buy anything new or make any big investments, I highly recommend paying off all your high interest debts. This means things that are earning interest in the negative. So if I bought a camera and I have not yet paid it off, if that costed $2,000, and interest on that could be compiling over the months and making me pay more per month than what I would have. Trust me, it's a huge weight off your shoulders and really makes everything in the business world and your life feel so much lighter. Okay, and I'm sure this is the part that all of you guys wanted to hear. It's what I want to hear. And I would always recommend to use some of your leftover money after you've invested it, after you've paid off your debts, after you've saved 5-10%, and use it on things that you actually enjoy. So for me, I like to go to a coffee shop with my mom, or I like to go to the mall with my friends, or I like to take small little day trips with my friends. I'm just like all of you. I enjoy spending my money and I like buying things that I like. For example, I just bought like some $80 watch. Obviously that's not super expensive, but that came out of my paycheck for the week and I had to deal with that, but I wanted it and I thought it looked pretty cool. So maybe it wasn't my best purchase, but also I have no debts that I have to pay off, and I'm slowly investing my money, so I didn't have to really worry about it. When your money is guilt-free, it really is different when you can kind of spend on some smaller things like a coffee and stuff, and you don't have to worry about trying to penny pinch every little thing. That's why I highly recommend following the first 3 steps in this video, so hopefully you could have more fun with your money by going out on trips, by going on little day trips, or going with friends. Every paycheck that you get is a chance to build the life that you want. And the way that you use it separates you from the people that feel stuck. So whether you make $40 a week or $400, this routine works. Take risks, save smart, pay off all your debts, and then you can enjoy some of what's left. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect at all, and I'm not the most perfect example of this, but also remember that systems like these bring you back to what you had before. If you're trying to build something while you're young, I'd love to hear what you guys are starting up down in the comments below. And it would mean the world if you guys were to hit that subscribe button down below. That helps me make more videos like this. To be honest, it's really motivating. I appreciate all of you for watching. Now go spend your paycheck with purpose. Peace.